Yo, what's good with y'all boys, man? It's Keymajor, and I'm back with another video for you guys today. Today I'm showing you guys how to make analog samples for Travis Scott, something real vintage and stuff like that. Before we do get into the video, I got a very special sample pack dropping this Saturday, October 15th at 12 p.m. It's not one of those huge sample packs. It comes with 30 samples, all placement ready. If you guys do want this loop, it is going to be in there alongside many others of this style. So yeah, man, 30 samples. And last but not least, if you guys haven't watched my latest video, please go watch that. You guys have been showing so much support on that video. I got many more of that style coming very soon. So I really hope you guys do enjoy and learn something new. Make sure you guys like, subscribe, hit that bell so you don't miss any more videos, and let's get straight to it. Alright, so here's the sample right here. It may look a little complex, but we're gonna break it down and you guys are gonna see how simple and easy it is to make these type of samples. First melody I laid down is actually right here in this wave format. I did lose the original sound, but it was from Prophet. I have the demo version, so it expired and I lost the sound, but it was something like this toy piano. It was like a classic synth key. I first started with the root note of the whole melody, which is E, and I just copied it up 7 notes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That's a very simple trick I do to kind of layer on top of my notes. And then lastly, I just created this repetitive pattern of these 3 simple chords. It's just the top notes going down the scale, just layering up. That's really all it is, just layering on top of my melodies. And then lastly, I just did Alt R to randomize the velocities. For the effects, I just had Ambience Reverb on here, and then I just had an EQ, taking out the lows, lowering some of the low mids, and taking out the highs. When it comes to making it sound old and analog and vintage, you don't want to have too many highs in it because it's going to sound a little too clean. Next, what I did is I exported it, and originally it sounded like this. So all I did was I pitched it up 10 notes, and then it sounded like this. That was basically all I did for the first melody, just to lay the foundation of the sample. After that, I added the synth bass right here. I just laid down the first root note, which was E, and I just copied it over for the second half, and I pitched it down 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. A very simple trick similar to the first one. And then I just added these notes in between as transition notes to kind of help maneuver into the second half and just not have it be so boring. And this bass is also from Analog. It's called the 3-Os hard bass. I think it's a stock preset inside of Analog Lab. It's not like another bank or something. For the effects on this bass, I just made it 100% mono, and then there was too much highs in it. I wanted to save the highs for other instruments, so I took the highs out and then I raised the lows so I could really be like a heavy bass. Next, I added this sound to capture more atmosphere in the sample. This sound also comes from Analog Lab, and it's this preset right here, and it's from the Paramnesia bank from HZE. For the effects, I made it almost 40% stereo for it to be more wide and capture more room in the sample. I added a ton of ambience reverb. I added a 1/8 delay. Both of these effects kind of helped it be less dry and kind of give it that echo feeling like I mentioned earlier. And Pancake, just moving it left and right, giving more movement in the sample. And then last but not least, EQ, taking out the lows and raising the highs. This sound was tucked in the background, but it really does help cover a lot of the gaps in the sample and just make it sound a lot more full. Then I added another Analog Lab, and I added this preset right here, and it's from the Netherworld V1 bank. So it was basically just a top melody for the whole sample. This top melody really helped bring out the emotion of the sample and really kind of drive it the whole way through. All I did was I created this catchy melody right here, going down the scale, and then I copied it for the second half. And for the last half, all I did was I just kind of switched it up, just following the notes from the original melodies I laid down earlier. For the effects, I added ambience reverb so it wasn't so dry, and delay as well, a 1/8 delay, turning the mix down on both of these so it's not too dramatic. Pancake, panning it left and right just a lot faster at 1/2. An EQ, taking out all the lows, and another EQ kind of filtering out the sound, taking more lows and lowering the highs as well. And then those are basically the main components I added to the melody. After that, I just added a bunch of accents to kind of fill in the gaps. So this is what it sounds so far. So already sounds good and full. Lastly, like I said, I just added these last couple accents in the background. I kind of tucked them in, make the sample sound better. First accent I added is from Producer Grind, and it's this kit right here. And it's inside the accents, and I picked the Dubai accent. It was already in key. I just matched the BPM, which was 125. Then I just laid it down right here, copied it 3 times. Anyways, it was just a very catchy, repetitive accent that I tucked in the background. For the effects, I made it 100% mono, and I panned it a lot to the right. Making your sounds more mono really helps it sound more vintage and analog type of sound. I added a delay, but I didn't even use it, but I did add a sketch cassette. This really helped it sound more old, like I mentioned, analog type of sound. I just used the A Little Aged preset, and I don't really think I tweaked anything in here. It just sounded perfectly fine. It just really helps add that like detune. It helps add that tape hiss sound effect. It kind of filters the sound with this age knob down here. All these things just really help this sound more old and vintage, and you can do this with any effect. You don't have to use a sketch cassette, you can use RC20. And lastly, to top off the whole sample, I just recorded 2 takes with my actual real guitar. If you guys saw my last video, you guys could actually see me like playing the guitar and stuff like that. If you guys want to watch that video, it'll be on the top right of the screen right now. The guitar was very simple. I don't know how to play guitar at all, and I just played these 2 very simple notes just over and over. Here's how it sounds. It's just that simple. It's just 2 notes over and over, very repetitive. After that, I pitched it down an octave, and then for the effects, all I added was an EQ to filter the guitar. I took out all the lows and low mids, and then I took down some of the highs. And this little green one right here is just this one frequency that was kind of peaking, so I just took it down. And then this is the second one I added. Another very simple top melody. I did reverse it, and then I panned it a little bit to the left. And then for the effects on this one, I did use Guitar Rig 6, but I do have the demo. All of you guys could go get the demo right now and use the same thing I'm using. The preset that I used was Creamy Snowflake. It's a really good preset for a guitar. Shout out Noble. And then Ambience Reverb, making it sound less dry, and EQ, taking out the lows and lowering a bunch of the mids. And same down here with the stock EQ. And then I panned the original guitar to the right, and then this guitar to the left, making them have their own little socket in the final sample. That was pretty much it. The last things I added were these 2 automation clips right here. The first one was the volume for the original lead. For some reason, when the note would stop playing, the lead would just play forever, so I created an automation clip to help it like fade out. As you can see, it just kind of fades out. And one quick tip that I have is doing little things like these, like fading out or kind of having things be off placement, really helps make your sample sound more real and just unique in general. I could have easily changed the automation clip to be like this, so the lead would just cut off right away. But little things like that just sound too robotic. So having it kind of fade out like this, or just having stuff be off, really helps your sample sound a lot more real. And lastly, this is just controlling the pitch of this sample right here. The last half of the sample, I just pitched it down an octave. That was basically it. Lastly, I just added this EQ on here, lowering the lows, lowering a little bit of the mids, and then lowering the high mids up here because a lot of the sounds were peaking at this area. I was just kind of cleaning up the sample, make sure everything was clean. Then a limiter, just kind of lowering the volume a little bit because it was kind of loud. And then I exported it, and I reversed it, and I pitched it up 300 cents. And then this is the final sample. Last tip I want to give is the arrangement of this whole sample is what really made it stand out, kind of tell like a story of some sort. I gave it a little intro, then it has this more dramatic part where everything's kind of playing, it sounds like at its best, and then kind of like a little outro coming out at the end. But anyways, man, that was basically it. If you guys did enjoy, make sure you guys leave a like, comment, any video ideas, subscribe, and hit the bell. Like I said, thank you guys so much for 2K subs. Last but not least, a huge sample pack dropping this Saturday, October 15th. 30 samples, placement ready with the stems, with everything you guys need to just get a bunch of placement instruments with these loops, a bunch of variety including this loop and a lot of loops in this style. And also follow me on Instagram. I just posted on Instagram, so make sure you guys go follow me over there. But yeah, man, that was it. I hope you guys did enjoy, and I'll see you guys in the next video.